I hope there won't be a great amount, taking into account that the market is more or less stabilized and the OPEC Plus is implementing its decisions at the highest levels.
What about President Trump? Because what we've seen in the last week is the U.S. president via tweet moving the oil price more than it was moved all summer long in spite of tanker attacks. How does the president factor into your planning?
You know, we are looking at all the factors that one way or another affect the prices. But in particular for us, it's a balance between supply and demand. With regards to statements, we see that at the time of the statement the price goes up or down, but after a while returns to where it was. Therefore, in my view, these are not fundamental factors. Fundamental factors do not lie in words, but actions.
So the U.S. shale boom briefly catapulted the United States into becoming the world's top oil producer, ahead of Saudi Arabia, ahead of Russia. When you take a step back and look at this within a more historical context, the relationship that you had with your Holy Khalid al-Fallah in terms of Saudi Arabia and Russia, it was a relationship no one would have ever dreamed possible in years prior. Do you see a similar relationship possible with the United States?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that sooner or later, any boom ends. And that's just a historic truth. Then we will see what happens with shale oil. It's fairly difficult to extract from the mineral deposits. With regards to my relationship with Mr. Al-Falih, I have greatly valued the time we have been working together as ministers. I consider him to be an exceptional professional in his area of expertise. He has done a great deal to establish collaboration and improve relations between our countries, between Saudi Arabia and Russia. And of course, a great deal has been done thanks to his efforts and the combined efforts of many countries to stabilize the market. With regards to the possibility of developing relations with the Minister of Energy for the United States, I am in contact with him. We are always ready to develop a dialogue on energy between our countries. But the ball isn't in our court.
Why is that?
Well, that's not a question for me.
Walk me through the relationship that you have with the Nigerians and the Iraqis. That's a pretty tough pill for them to swallow in terms of taking these cuts on board and agreeing to comply with the output cuts. How did you get them to the table?
You know, there were some very serious talks and discussions within the Interministerial Committee. And once again, we all together came to the conclusion that the voluntary quotas that we took upon ourselves as countries could be implemented or consolidated. And it was the only way of maintaining the deal and its positive results.
And in terms of what happens next, what's concerning you the most when you look at the energy picture today?
Well, if you mean the balance of supply and demand, then I'm concerned about the short term, the winter period, when the supply decreases and we need to closely monitor the situation here. If we are talking about the energy situation as a whole, then of course what worries me primarily is that in order to meet its energy demands, humankind needs to put in a great deal of investment. And consequently, we need stable rules of the game that won't be changed once decisions have been made. We know what we are talking about, and so do you. Therefore, we think we need to work out a common unified approach towards stable investment in energy.